everyone. Welcome to the World Tapping Circle. As you know, I'm your host, Sonia Sophia. You are here with Team Love, and we are here to support you, to support ourselves, and to support this world in bringing exactly the kind of love and empathy we need into ourselves to move ourselves forward, to move on from our past, and to animate who we really are and what we're here to do. So thank you so much for taking time for you. Whether you realize it or not, you are a valuable piece of what's happening in the world. And whether your piece is grand or whether your piece is this tiniest, gorgeous little detail, your piece matters. It matters to the people that know you. It matters to the people that loves you. And it matters to your body and your own ability to stay healthy and connected to your soul. So thank you for taking time for you to process whatever's in the way of you feeling amazing and staying on track with who you are and how you be. The theme that we have for this circle is trusting the timing. So we're going to be focusing on wherever it is that you feel scared or doubtful or angry or hesitant, or that you're rushing or that you're holding back. I know for years and years, this idea that somehow I was behind, that I wasn't keeping up, that I wasn't ever going to make it, this whole timing thing was a really big piece that I had to wrestle with. And at a certain point, I had to just realize that wherever I was is wherever I was. I actually couldn't be behind or ahead of. I just had to be where I was. And that brought me a lot of peace and actually kept me in the flow. So whenever I freak out that I'm somewhere timing-wise that I'm not supposed to be, I come back to this idea and this experience that we're about to do around timing. Okay, so hopefully this works for you, and wherever you feel like you're rushing or pushing or you're behind or catching up, where you can just chill the beep out and be where you're at and keep moving yourself forward. So before we go into our tap and before we acknowledge all y'all piling into the room, I want to acknowledge Team Love. You have Surya here in red, the master of technology, a dear, dear friend, and a stunning practitioner in his own right. You'll see him taking over the circle and leading gorgeous taps in his own manly way sometimes. So thank you, Surya, for being here to support the circle. You'll see Jonna Golden Flame here with the blue starry background and the beautiful dark hair. She's been tapping for about 11 years. She's an amazing practitioner, a workshop leader, and she's based in the San Francisco area, also leads the tapping circle. This is designed to be a community process. I lead most of them at this point, but more and more people will start leading over time. We have Jennifer here beaming in from, are you in India right now? No, Tibet.
Thailand.
Thailand, one of those places. So it's early in the morning where she is, and she's just come out of a very intense, long-ass, oops, did I say that word? Meditation process. Thank you for being with us again, Jennifer. We missed you, and we're glad you're back. And then we have our newest practitioner here that we're supporting, and beautiful Jade here with the red background and the gorgeous smile is joining us for the first time as a presenter on the circle. So thank you, Jade, for hopping in and showing up and supporting the circle. And she's here in Austin, Texas, where I am. So I'm peeking into the chat just to give you a quick shout out, and then we're going to get on with our tapping. So I see Callista. She is here in Austin with us. I see Hempress. Wow, what a beautiful name. In Boulder, Colorado, Celestine is here from Quebec. Ruthie, I see you back. Welcome back. Nancy Lightflower. Lewis, Ace Somerset. Anne in Reno, steady as a heart. Michael in Austin. Linda from Waco, hello. Jaya from the Rockies. Lewis in Bermuda. I think this is a first, Lewis. Touchstone, really happy to see you here, sweetheart. And Roger and S.C. Compson. Sarah in Washington. James in Austin. Adam in New York. Shelley in New Brunswick, Canada. Welcome, everyone. I'm not going to read everybody's name, but I'm really happy that so many have joined us. All right. So back to the tap for today. You want to go? There we go. We're going to be tapping on timing. So again, as I said a few minutes ago, any place where you feel like you are behind schedule or ahead of schedule and you're feeling impatient, or wherever you feel like timing is a thing, we are just approaching the changing of the moon. This is a good time to focus on resetting your internal clock and letting go of your fears and frustrations and aggravations or judgments around where you're at in your process, where you're at in your business, where you're at in your relationship, where you're at with your diet and exercise, wherever this is a frustrating place for you. And again, these taps are loosely framed so that you can really tune into whatever aspect of your life. Hopefully it gives you enough structure, but also gives you enough room at the same time, which is a little bit tricky. It's an art, really. Okay. So what we're going to do next is something called the Core Causes Questions. It's a 5-minute process for you to get down with yourself. There is a button that's about to pop up that will say Get Started. If you are logging in live, scroll down on your mobile device. If you're on a phone or an iPad, you'll see the button pop up, and you'll take that survey for 5 minutes. And the information is really to help you understand where you're at and what may be underneath your issues so that you can tap at the deepest level possible and really move some of this stuff and turn it over and get down with yourself. The more you do this, the more you realize that a lot of issues lead back to the same stuff. And as you keep chipping away at those core memories and those core experiences and those core beliefs, who you are being and how you are being will really start to change, and you'll get feedback from the outside world. People will look at you and say, wow, you look happier, you'll feel calmer, people will trust you more, you'll get more positive experiences showing up in your life because your expectations of how things will be for you have changed based on you cleaning up your past. Does that make sense? You're a magical creature and a creative being. And we're just going to get down and clean up some stuff, okay? All right, sweethearts. Trusting the timing. You'll see that information in case you come in late. What's the theme? You don't have to ask. It's right there in the green bar at the top of the chat. And on we go to the Okay, everyone. Even if you're not fully finished with the survey, I'm sure you get where you're going. So now we're going to start the tapping process because we stirred the muck at the bottom of the pond. You got a bunch of stuff floating around, and we're going to go zap, 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 and move it all the way through. So following along with me, I'm going to do the points on my body. You're going to do the points on your body. Remember that if the words I'm using don't exactly fit your scenario, it's your job to tailor these words and make them fit with your truth, even if it's the opposite of what I'm saying. Just a reminder to new people that we're going to toggle back and forth between the negative thoughts and love and acceptance, and then positive thoughts. And as we tap, we're dislodging negative thoughts by bringing them up, and then we're putting empathy on them. That's going to clean up your neural networks. You're going to discharge that energy from your body. It might come out in yawning, burping, laughing, farting, weird tingles, sneezing, coughing, crying, energy moving through your body. However it is for you, just let it happen. Your body's going to fast forward through an old process that's very familiar to you. So just let it happen. Relax, keep tapping and breathing, and trust the timing. Here we go. Massaging the front of the chest, feeling around. See if you can find a tender spot in the front of your chest here. Big, deep breath. Repeating after me. Even though part of me does not trust the timing of what? Could be anything, okay? I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the eyebrows. Part of me does not trust the timing of, say it again. Tapping the temples. You can tap with one or two hands. You can see Surya and Jana are doing the one-handed tap, and Jennifer and Jade and I are doing two hands. Either is fine. Tapping the front of the cheekbones, even though part of me does not trust the timing of, say one more time. And tapping under the nose. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping under the lips. Part of me wants it to be different. Okay. Tapping under the lips and down to the chest. Part of me wants it to be different. Can you describe the timing that you would prefer? I want it to be what? Slower? Faster? Never? Already done? Okay. Now we're going to tap the front of the ribs, bottom of the rib cage, straight down from the nipple line to the bottom of the ribs where your ribs jut out the most in front. Continuing to tap. Part of me doesn't trust the timing of what? And tap the side of the ribs. I'm open to loving and respecting myself. Okay, and the rib side is nipple height, side seam of the body. You can cross your arms and do the hug tap if that's easier for you, or the monkey tap like Jana and I are doing. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, inside of the wrist, on the wrist bone. I don't trust the timing because I think it should be what? Describe again how you think it should be going. Good. Okay. Tap the side of the thumb right at the edge of your thumbnail. Even though I've been pushing and pulling on the timing. And I'm feeling impatient and frustrated. I love and accept myself. Say it really fast. Tap your index finger. I cannot love and accept myself because secretly I believe that I'm behind schedule. That things are behind schedule. That it's not going at the pace that I think it should. Tapping the middle finger. this fear, tuning into what it is you're afraid of. I'm afraid what? Are you afraid it's never going to happen? Are you afraid that it's happening too quickly? Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. This issue with how things are moving. Tune into it again, that part of you that feels resistant, stuck, or afraid. Tap your little finger. Tuning in again. Where is it that you get hung up around this? You want things to speed up? You want things to slow down? Make an annoyed sound. Let yourself just express that feeling, whatever it is for you, fear or frustration. Tap the side of the hand. I love and respect myself, even though this isn't moving the way I think it should. Tap the top of the head. I'm giving myself the possibility of releasing the stress and the anxiety that this pace is causing. Tapping the sides of the head and the back of the head. Okay, good. Tapping the eyebrows. This stress. Big, noisy breath again. Tapping the temples. I'm allowing myself to relax. Tap the cheeks. I'm allowing myself to stay focused. Tapping under the nose. I'm allowing myself to trust how things are unfolding. And tapping under the lips. Part of me wants to disassociate and disengage. Okay, so tap your chest, tune in to the part of you that wants to disassociate, detach, disengage, push it away. Whatever it is that you feel anxious around, how it's showing up, the pace and the timing. Tapping the bottom of the ribs again, front of the rib cage. Part of me wants to disassociate, detach, and disengage. Tap the side of the ribs. I can't wait. This is excruciating. I know, right? Tap the inside of the wrist. I cannot stand this. Part of me thinks it should be, and describe how you think it should be. It should be much quicker. It should be much easier. It should be already done. It should be a lot slower. Whatever it is. And breathe. Remember while we're tapping to give yourself big, deep, complete breaths with a strong exhalation. Tapping the side of the thumb. Even though part of me is throwing fits, resisting, or falling asleep, I love and respect myself. And tap the index finger. I accept the part of me that is fighting the timing of this. Feels like it's not working. Tap the middle finger. Okay, this is where you're going to get to scream, shout, throw a fit, stomp your feet. What is it that you want? This is where you get to be your inner 3-year-old. I want what? Is it I want it right now? I want to already be there. I want to stop this and slow it down. What is it that you want? Go ahead and freak out for 30 seconds. Big breath, deep breath. Tap the bottom of your fourth finger. Keep saying it. Chant it like a 3-year-old throwing a tantrum. I want it right now. Ah! Tap your little finger. 10 more seconds left. Go ahead. Stomp your feet. Let your voice be heard. What is it that you want? Tap the side of your hand. I'm open to loving and accepting this part of me that feels this way. Tapping the top of your head. How can I trust how everything's unfolding? Tap the sides of the head, top of the head. Big sigh again. Tap the eyebrows. I've been told, so what have you been told around how this should be going? I've been told at this age I should have it sorted out. What have you been told? And maybe you weren't told it, maybe you just picked it up. What do you believe? I think what? Tapping the cheeks. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping under the nose, even though part of me believes what? Tapping under the lips. Say it again. It shouldn't take this long. I should be there already. It shouldn't be this hard. Tap the front of the ribs. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tap the side of the ribs. So you probably just came up with a few things that you've been believing. We're going to tap on 3 of those. We're going to pick your top 3 biggest ones. Okay? I'm going to call it thing 1, thing 2, and thing 3. So going back to what you believe about your situation, what you've been telling yourself, your negative self-talk, what's the thing that keeps popping up again and again? We're going to call that thing 1. Okay, we're going to spend a few minutes really working that out of your nervous system. I've been telling myself what? Go ahead and blurt it out. Thing 1. Tap the side of your thumb. Say it again. Telling myself. Index finger. Part of me really believes this. Tap your middle finger. Ask yourself who in your family felt the same way or believed the same thing. Check in and see if you picked this up from anyone in your family. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but check in and see. Was your mother feeling this way, or father, or whoever raised you, step-parents, grandparents? Did they believe this as well? Did they leave a legacy of that belief for you? Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. This belief, say it again, that I may have picked up from where? Tap the little finger, this belief that I may have picked up from where? Big sigh. Tap the side of the hand. Even though I picked up this belief when I was how old? Tap the top of the head. It's been secretly running my life behind the scenes this whole time. Tapping the sides of the head and the back of the head. I'm willing to love and forgive myself now. Tap the eyebrows. Big, soft breath. Really open your lungs. Tap the temples. Is it safe to forgive myself for letting this belief drive me? Tap the cheeks. Slow me down or make me rush. Tapping under the nose. Tapping under the lips. Is it possible that I'm aligning with divine timing? Even though the people that raised me were stressed around timing. Tap the chest. Either holding back or rushing forward. There was no trust in the natural flow. There was a giving up or a stressing out. Tap the front of the ribs. I'm giving myself permission to update this belief that I inherited from where? Tap the side of the ribs. The belief called what? What is this belief again? Thing one. Inside of the wrist. Let's do the opposite wrist this time. Even if it's been a tradition in my family, I no longer have to play this game. Tap the side of the thumb. I'm releasing this from every cell in my body. Tap the index finger, allowing myself to update peace around the timing. Big breath. Tap the middle finger, releasing the anxiety and the resistance that believing, what's the negative belief again? Tap the bottom of the fourth finger, tune into it. How real does that belief feel now? Does it still feel so heavy? Let's give me a yes or a no. Is it lightening up? Yes. It's lightening up. It's a little bit lighter. Tap your little finger. I accept the part of me that wants to cling to this belief and this fear. Big breath. Open your heart to this part of you that is actually trying to do a service for you. Let's check in. Tap the side of the hand. What is this belief trying to do for you? Ask, what is this belief? Oh, it's trying to make sure I'm ready. Oh, it's trying to make sure I'm not overwhelmed. Tap the top of the head. Oh, it's trying to make sure I move at my own pace, that somebody else isn't setting the pace for me, that I have sovereignty. What is your belief trying to do for you? What's it trying to protect you from? Blurt it out. This old belief that says what? What's thing one belief say? State it again. Is trying to serve me by doing what? Tap the cheeks. Check in. Is it working? Is holding on to this belief actually giving you what it is that you need and want, or is it preventing you and causing the exact opposite of what you need and what you want? Tapping under the lips and breathe. Just checking in. Tapping the chest. What's happening there? Are you noticing that maybe this idea is actually delivering the opposite of what you actually want? Tap the front of the ribs. I forgive myself for holding on to this inherited belief. Tap the side of the ribs that really started with who? Tap the inside of the wrist. I'm releasing the stress, any shame or guilt or fear that comes along with the idea, and say your negative belief again. Tapping the side of the thumb. It's safe for me to do this. Tap the index finger. Safe for me to release the tension and the fear and whatever else this has caused for you. What has it caused for you? Has it caused anxiety or mania or a sense of stubbornness where you're just not going to be told and you're going to do your thing no matter what because you're still resisting? What is it? Tap your middle finger. I'm giving myself permission to easily and gently come back into balance with myself here. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger, trusting the flow of the universe and time. Tap the little finger. I'm trusting time. And tap this side of the hand. I don't have to take the stress anymore around the idea that what? Say the negative thing, one belief one more time. Tuning in and see, does it still have such a strong grip when you say it? Say that negative belief. How does it feel now when you say it? Does it feel kind of light and less real? So if it does, then you know that this is working. You are dismantling something that has been a fundamental truth for you in just a few minutes, which is really amazing because that's going to change the outcome of your life. Tapping the top of the head. One more time on thing one, this limiting belief that I picked up from where? And that's been affecting my ability to do what? Tap the eyebrows. Tapping the temples. I love and respect myself. Tap the cheeks. I'm allowing myself to give myself a new possibility. Okay, tapping under the nose. So what would the opposite of this limiting belief be? So if you tell yourself that you're, too far behind, or that you're never going to catch up, or that you're so far ahead that no one's going to be able to receive you, that you're too old for your peer group, or you're too advanced for your community or your culture, whatever that is, what would the opposite be? It would be more like, it's possible to be accepted, that I'm in the right time, that everything's aligning perfectly. And if you don't know, you can say, I'm willing to find out what the appropriate belief is. And you can just be opening yourself to listening. So what would feel good? What would you love to believe? I would love to believe that everything's happening, that I'm actually right where I should be, that things are on their way, that I don't have to push or pull or force or wiggle or run. Tap the front of the ribs. I'm allowing myself to give myself permission to adopt this new belief. Say your new healthy belief. Tap this side of the ribs. Ursula is saying, I'm moving forward at the perfect pace and making steady progress. That's gorgeous. If you're not sure what to say, let's try Ursula's. Tap the inside of the wrist. I'm open to the possibility that I'm moving forward at the perfect pace and making steady progress. Tap the side of the thumb. Allowing this to relax, to come back into harmony. Tap the index finger. One more time, let's reinforce that positive new belief. We're going to turbo tap it. We're going to say it 4 times. Tap the index fingers, say your new positive belief. Come on, you guys, say it like you mean it. Let's do this. Tap your middle finger 1 more time. Bottom of the 4th finger. Big, deep breath. Little finger, reprogramming the brain 1 more time. And side of the hand, say it 1 more time and let your whole body feel the truth of that. What would it be like to let that be your new truth 100%, unarguable? Of course it's like this. Big, noisy breath. Let your whole body relax into that truth. Beautiful. Tapping the top of the head. Gorgeous. Big, deep breath, integrating this new truth into every cell of my body. It's safe for me to believe this and to feel secure about this. Okay, tapping the chest. It's safe for me to feel secure in this. Good work, everyone. That's a big deal, what you just did. So Linda, you keep tapping on the part that feels like a lie, and you may need to do some deep private sessions on this. If this isn't enough for you, you may need to move slower with some expert support. Okay, so let's do our first check-in, and what that means is we're just going to pause for a second. If you have a glass of water, take a drink of water, regroup yourself, tune in. We sat down and said we were going to tap on this issue around timing. We've started to deconstruct part of it. You appraised your issue at the beginning on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 was the most intense. 1 was the least. Where are you at now as a whole with your issue? What are the numbers? Maybe you were a 10, maybe you're an 8. Where are you at? Let us know if you have the ability to chat with us. Christine is down to a 5 already. This was fast for me tonight. I love it. I got a lot to write down. Mandy, 8 to a 6. Hempress, 9 to a 4. Nancy, 8 to a 5. Callista, 8 to a 5. Hero, 10 to a 7. Samadhi, a 6 to a 3. Lindsay down to a 5. Kaylin, 9 to a 7. Zara Grace, 9 to a 7.5. Everybody's rocking it. 9 to a 7 from S. Compson. Sherry, a 9 to a 7. Rachel, a 9 to a 6. Shelly, a 7 to an 8. So she's gone up slightly. She's defrosting. Ursula, 8 to a 5. Y'all are moving it. You're doing great. Gorgeous work. Okay, we're going to keep moving. So now we're going to do negative belief number 2. So you've got some ideas around where you're supposed to be and why you're supposed to be there, and maybe it's around your age or how long you've been doing something or your gender or whatever it is. We're going to go after the next negative belief. If the first one hasn't moved very much, stick with the first belief. It might need a little more time. Everyone processes at a slightly different rate, so don't compare yourself to other people. That would be the opposite of what we're doing in here around timing, right? We're all going to just gently relax and be where we're at. This is our own internal process. We're doing it as a collective, but we have privacy, so we're not looking over to see if anyone else is like me. We're just here with ourselves. Massaging the front of the chest, big deep breath. Even though I've been secretly thinking what? And telling myself again and again, say it again, Tap the eyebrows. How does it feel when you tell yourself that? Does it make you excited and happy, or does it make you feel tired and angry, or does it make you want to quit or run away or just chuck it or lock yourself in a monastery and never come out again? Tap the temples and breathe. Tapping the cheeks. Even though I've been telling myself what about the timing? Tapping under the nose. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping under the lips. Repeat your negative statement number 2. What have you been worried about or secretly believing in regards to the timing? Tap the chest. I love and respect myself, even if I've been telling myself it's never going to happen. Tap the front of the ribs. I love and respect myself, even if a part of me secretly believes, say your negative thought number 2, and for me, I'm going to say my negative thought is, it's never going to happen. Ugh. Tap the inside of your wrist. I love and respect myself. And if that's too hard to say, I'm open to loving and respecting myself. Tap the side of the thumb. Even if I secretly believe this is true, tap the index finger, and part of me is living like that's true. Tap the middle finger. It's okay. I can do that for as long as I want, if that's what I need to do to protect my heart. Tap the bottom of the 4th finger. I'm actually just trying to protect my heart here. Tap the little finger. I don't want to be disappointed. I don't want to get my hopes up. Tap the top of the head. I don't want to be left looking foolish. Tapping the sides of the head, tapping the eyebrows. So I've been telling myself what? Tap the temples. For me, again, I'm going to say, telling myself it's just never going to happen. Tap the cheeks. And by telling myself this, I'm trying to prevent what? Tapping under the nose. Big deep breath. Make some sound. Tapping under the lips. I picked up this habit of telling myself, say the negative thought number 2 again. Tap your chest. I picked up this habit a long time ago. Back when what happened? Tap the front of the ribs. I decided this was true back when what happened? Fill in the blank there. Don't just say when what happened. I know. Tap the side of your ribs. Even though I picked up this thought, say your negative thought again. Tap the inside of the wrist. Back when I was how old? And I was trying to survive what? Tap the side of the thumb. And I've been living like it was true. Tap the index finger. I love and accept myself. Big, deep breath. Here we go. Tap the middle finger. Who would I be if I let go of this thought? Tap the bottom of the 4th finger. Holding on to the idea, say your negative limiting belief again, number 2. Tap the little finger. I've been living with this belief since I was how old? How many years is that? Tap the side of your hand. And by believing this, I've been trying to safeguard myself from what happening? Getting hurt? Tap the top of the head. Trying to protect myself from what? Tap the back of the head. Is this strategy really working? Tap the eyebrows. It made sense at the time to adopt the strategy. Tap the temples. And I forgot to turn it off. Tap the cheeks. It really did make sense back then. Tap under the nose. And I just left it on. Tapping under the lips. At this stage in my life, I would like to adopt a new strategy. Tap the chest. One that would allow for what? Peace, connection, financial flow. What is it that you want to open up by letting go of this old limiting belief? Knowing that I'm always in the right place at the right time because it's where I'm at. What would it be like if you imagined that you were always in the right place at the right time? Tap the front of the ribs. Tap the front of the ribs. Let's go back to the limiting belief number 2. Say it out loud again. Believing that what was true? Tap the side of the ribs and breathe. I picked up the belief back when what was happening? As a way to cope with that whole situation. Tap the inside of the wrist. Big noisy breath. Tap the side of the thumb. Let's check in again. Did anyone in your family also have the same belief? Were they modeling this to you? Were they talking about it this way, acting it out, acting as if this was really true about the world? Yep, or doodle dandy. It was true. Tap the middle finger. I also picked this up from who? Okay. Tap the middle finger. I love and forgive myself. I'm willing to release myself from the inherited belief that I picked up from who? Mom? Dad? Both of them? Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. The entire family? Big deep breath. Stay with me. Not in the chat room chatting right now. Stay tapping. Tap your little finger and breathe. Even though I picked this up from where or from who? Tap the side of the hand. I'm open to loving and respecting myself. Tapping the top of the head. I'm re-examining how long I want to carry this belief into my future. Tapping the eyebrows. This belief, say the belief again. Tapping the temples. Tuning into it. Where is it in your body? Where are you holding on to this in your body? Tapping the cheeks. Holding on to the belief that what? That I inherited from who? Feeling it where in my body? Tension in my stomach. How does it show up? tiredness, a lack of focus. Tap the chest. I love and refresh myself. Tap the front of the ribs. Giving myself permission to update who I am and what my beliefs are. Tap the side of the ribs. I don't have to carry the old family belief forward for another generation. As tempting as that may be. Tap the inside of the wrist. Let's name that old belief one more time. What is it that we're talking about here? It's thing 2. Blurt it out. Tuning in. Does it feel a little less about you? Does it feel a little less powerful? Is it losing its grip on you? Say the limiting belief. Tuning in. How true does that feel now? Does it feel a little bit like it's kind of getting boring talking about it? It's not really even yours. That means you are successfully dismantling it. Okay, index finger. Let's turn it around. Let's flip it inside out. What would a positive belief that would fill in this gap be that would be way more fun to live as your motto? Give you a hint. It's the opposite of what you've been telling yourself. Tap the middle finger. What would it be like if I was raised by people who believed this? Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. I want you to imagine that wherever you picked up that belief, whether it was school or your mom, that you were raised in a school that taught you this new belief, or you were raised by a mom who modeled this new belief. What would that be like? Tap your little finger. Tuning in again. Ask your body, what would it be like to be surrounded by people when I was young who told me this and lived like that was true? Tap the side of your hand, big, deep, noisy breath. Tapping the top of the head. I'm allowing this part of my childhood to get a new message. Tapping the back of the head, the eyebrows. What's the new message that you're allowing to encode your body with? Say it out loud. Tap your temples. Allowing myself to reprogram every cell in my body. Tap the cheeks. Including back to the child that I was that absorbed this old idea. Tapping under the nose. Allowing the whole family to feel this new truth called what? State it out loud. Tapping under the lips. Even if I have a little bit of resistance to this new positive idea, tap the chest, because if I really adopted it, what would it change? It would change the way I do what? Big breath. Tap the front of the ribs. It would change the way I tap the side of the ribs. And it would allow me to feel what? Would it allow you to feel safe, confident, valuable? It would allow me to feel calm. And I'm also afraid what would happen if you adopted this new belief. What are you afraid would happen? Do you think you'd start slacking? Or do you think that you would get overworked? Tap the side of the thumb. Part of me is worried that if I adopt the new positive belief, which says, say what it says, that I might accidentally have what happen? Tap the index finger, big noisy breath. Tap the middle finger. I'm releasing my fear of, and then say that fear that you were just discussing. My fear of what? Overworking, overcommitting, getting it over my head. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger, losing connection with the people in my life. Tap the little finger. It's safe for me to release any remaining fear about trusting myself, believing in myself, knowing that I'm in the right place at the right time. Tap the side of the hand. Feeling safe and secure in exactly what's going on. Tapping the top of the head. Beautiful work, everybody. You're doing it. This is an intense tap, I know. So we're going to pause again right here. I'll let you know that we are at the hour mark for those of you who have only given yourself an hour to tap with us. We love you. We send you with love. We hope you join us next week. For those who are going to go ahead and do the bonus round, which is the next 20 minutes, we're going to keep moving after this next check-in. So put in the chat how you are feeling according numerically if you can. Like I was a 10, maybe I'm a 3. Let us know how you're feeling. And for those of you watching on replay, you're tapping, you're tuning in, because the tuning in and the checking part is just as much a part of this healing process as actually all the other stuff that we've been doing. You're actually going in, checking the neural networks, you're checking your whole body, and as you check, that information comes forward and it starts to change. You're welcome, James. Roger, a 5 to a 3. James, down to a 3 from an 8. Hero, from a 10 to a 5. Ashley, a 7 to a 4. Christina, a 10 to a 7. 10, 5, 7. It went up, but I think what that means, Christina, is that you're just working on a different aspect of it that feels quite intense. But as a whole, it looks like it's going down. Zara Grace, a 10 to a 5. Samadhi's down to a 2 from a 9. Mandy, 6 up to a 10, down to a 4. Beautiful. Kaylin, 9, 7, 5. Hempress down to a 2. Love you. See you later, Hempress. Scompson, 9 to a 5. Lindsay, 6.5 to 3.4. Shelley, a 7 to a 6. Nancy, an 8 to a 3. Jennifer, a 10 to a 7. Callista's down to a 4. Almost down to a 3. And Linda, you have found the core of your issue. Tap on that sentence that you put in the chat. Mandy says, this work is so deep and amazing. So grateful. Thank you. Love you, Mandy. I'm so glad you're here. Anne's down to a 2. Jeanette's down to a 7. Jaya just moved a little bit to a 9. Adam down to a 5. Okay, we're going to get to tapping. Love you. Glad to see you, Lindsay, Mateo, and Chancellor. Here we go. It's a dizzy, yeah? We're going to do our third limiting belief. Oh my gosh. Who will I be at the end of this tap? I don't know, but it's going to be more fun than where you were, for sure. Okay. So tuning in, I've been telling myself that somehow the timing isn't working out for me. What's still there? What would make the biggest difference if you could look at this next limiting belief? That's going to be thing number 3. Even though part of me has been fearing and believing that what is true. Say it out. I'm open to loving and accepting this part of me. Tapping the eyebrows. This part of me is protecting me. Tap the temples. I've believed this for a long time. Tap the cheeks. Part of me thinks that I'm being protected from what? Tapping under the nose. Tapping under the lips. I don't want to let this belief go. Come on. Enough is enough, Sonia. Tap the chest. I don't want to let this belief go. Because if I did, what would happen? What would happen if you stopped thinking that to yourself? It might really open stuff up, right? It might really shift things. And then what would happen? Blurt it out. What would happen if you let this belief go? Tapping the front of the ribs, which might lead to what? Tap the side of the ribs, and that might lead to what? Tap the inside of the wrist, which might create what? Tap the side of the thumb. And then I would feel or be what? Tap the index finger, and then you know what would happen? This. Say what that is. Did you guys get to the point where you're dead yet? Or are you almost dead? Or are you feeling so great you don't know what to do? Tap the middle finger. Even though I have these secret fears that are all based on this one big idea, tap the bottom of the fourth finger. I'm really trying to protect myself here from all that. Tap the little finger. And this belief feels really valuable to me. Tap the side of the hand. It's protecting me from what? 30 seconds. Blurt it out. What's it protecting you from? You just acknowledged it. Go. Tap the top of your head. I love and accept myself. Tap the back of the head. Tap the eyebrows. Stay tapping with us, Linda. Tap on it. It's less about expressing it to the group and more about you tapping and processing. Tap your temples, giving myself permission to accept this fear. Tap the cheeks, no matter how long it's been here. Tapping under the nose. I don't have to be driven by this old fear that I picked up when. Tapping under the lips. When what was happening? Tapping the chest. Releasing the memory from my body and being. Tap the front of the ribs, releasing the memory from my body and being. Tap the side of the ribs, giving myself permission to move myself forward, even if I've been terrified of all these things related to the belief. What's the limiting belief that we're working on? This is how my parents rolled. Check in, see, did they hold on to a limiting the belief similar to the one you're talking about? Tap the side of the thumb. Is it what society tells you is true? Tap the index finger, giving myself permission to release this back to wherever it came from. And I'm not saying send it back to them. I'm saying release it from all of that. Okay, tap the middle finger. I have permission to finally release this on behalf of myself and everyone it's been touching. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger, including who and what. Tap the little finger. It's safe for me to do this. Tap the side of the hand. I'm giving myself a sense of safety. What would it be like if you were to let this go? Let's ask your body. If I stopped fearing what? Say it out loud. What is it that you're afraid of? How would your body feel? Tap the top of the head. Let your body feel that for a minute. What would it feel like if this belief were gone? Tap the eyebrows. If you knew you were in the right place at the right time, doing exactly what you were supposed to do, exactly the way you're doing it, if you could trust that things were moving at the right pace, at the right time, tapping under the lips. It's okay to do this, to clear it, to feel safe. Tapping the chest. I'm allowing myself to feel safe, to feel calm, to feel steady, and to feel ready. Tap the front of the ribs. I don't have to hold myself back or push myself into the future. Tap the side of the ribs. Everything is flowing with divine timing. Tap the inside of the wrist. So what is the opposite new belief that would counteract belief number 3? The new belief would be what? Tap the side of the thumb. Say it out loud. Say it nice and clear. Allowing myself the possibility of believing what is true. Allowing myself the possibility of believing that all is well, that things are moving with efficiency and compassion, that things are moving ideally, that it's merciful for things to be moving at this pace, and right, that things are in alignment, even if, from my perspective, it's been challenging. Tap the little finger and breathe. What's your new belief again? Say it 3 times as you tap the side of your hand. Come on, say it with me, nice and clear, bright, bright, bright. Here we go. My new belief is what? 3 times. Tap the top of your head. I'm allowing every cell in my body to hear this. Tap the eyebrows. Allowing the past version of me to hear this. Tapping the temples. Any version that was affected by the limiting belief is now hearing this and updating. Tap the cheeks. It's safe for me to accept whatever changes this new belief brings. Tapping under the nose. Allowing my body to relax. Tapping under the lips. To heal, to reconnect, to peace and flow. Tapping the chest. Reconnecting to peace and flow. Tapping the front of the ribs. I'm letting this be easy. Tap the side of the ribs. More fun than I imagined. inside of the wrist, and simple. So let's check in. Take a deep breath. Notice how you're doing now. I commend you for sticking with this. This was a doozy. And I'm really proud of you for going there, generating this attention and love within yourself, leaving out those old thoughts and feelings, doing this for yourself, doing this for your family, doing this for the world. Yes, what you do for you, you do for all of us. So if you can describe how you're feeling now, I would love to hear it in the chat. You're going to sleep like a baby after this. You're going to have a really good rest, a deep, deep integration. So Christina found a new piece that she's going to work on. Scompson says down to a 2. That's wonderful. Callista, I feel clear, capable, and confident. Linda, odd, my new belief feels as fragile as a soap bubble, but some of the intensity is bleeding off all the way down to a 6. I'm really proud of you, Linda. This is a huge progress, and it is fragile. Be very tender with yourself. This new belief will take hold, but you don't need to push on it or pull on it, any of you. This new belief, this new version of you is tender like a new little shoot. But give it a little time, keep reinforcing it. You might want to write those 3 new positive beliefs down, put them on a piece of paper, stick them where you can see them every day. Say them to yourself a few more times this week. That little shoot will turn into a sprout. It will get firmer, it'll get more durable, and it will grow. Nurture it. You've just pulled up the weeds, planted seeds, and sprouted something. Give it a little space to develop. You are definitely on your way. Samadhi, this is also great. Hero, down to a 2. It was huge. Thank you. Scompson says light. Surya, feeling fantastic, super chill. Well, that's nice to hear. Jeanette, still a 7, so there's other aspects you need to work on. You might want to get into the video library and do a different tap related to your issue. Bliss, says Anne. Jennifer, down to a 5, shifted mountains, letting go of a 6-year relationship. That's huge. Zara Grace, down to a 2 from a 10. Roger, I know the next 24 hours will bring something amazing. Good. Mandy, lightness and excitement about my life I haven't felt in a long time. That's good. Shelley, relaxed. Azul, so needed this after the burn. Good. More peaceful, says Nancy. Jade, helpful. Shy about my new belief. That's that tenderness. Nurture it. I'm glad you're happy, Ruthie. You're welcome, feeling light and confident. Okay, everybody. Thank you for your love, your attention. Thank you for showing up in circle to support each other and most importantly to support yourself. Every time you show up, it supports the rest of us, not only financially because it helps pay for this expensive, loving, beautiful thing that we're doing, but it gives us the impetus to keep going. I would not be doing this if you weren't showing up. So I hope all of you keep showing up. Bring your friends, bring your family. Let's light up the world. Thank you, Team Love. You can turn on your mics if you want to give us your blessings for the end of the circle. We love you, and we're so glad you showed up.
Sonia, would you like to talk about the fall training?
Yeah, although I'm not sure. Here we go. My picture is a drawing of my head. That's okay. Surya reminded me that we are doing a fall training. If anyone's interested, he's putting up a button right now. Click the button. I think we have 7 places left as of today, and it is a life-changing event. If you would like to learn how to do this and help yourself and your community, this is a great investment. So anything else y'all want to say?
Good night. Thank you for tapping with us.
Much love, y'all.
Yeah, so much love to everyone. Sorry, Surya.
Yeah.
All right, sweetheart. Thank you. Love you. I'll see you next week.